While disciplining me, the alien queen said, "If you were single, I'd give you my number." The gleaming Zeathian capital floated in the void like a jewel among the stars, its towers stretching high and glowing with soft, greenish light. Alex gazed at it from the viewport of his ship, the Horizon Dawn, feeling a mixture of awe and nervousness. Humanity's first contact with the Zeathians had been peaceful, yet careful. The Zeathians were known across the galaxy for their advanced technology, strict social rules, and mysterious ways. One wrong move, and even a minor diplomat could become a major problem. Alex adjusted his uniform and ran a hand through his dark hair. "All right, Carter," he muttered to himself. "Don't mess this up. Remember what they said, respect their rules, follow the protocols, and don't, under any circumstances, touch anything without permission." The ship's intercom chimed, and a calm, neutral voice said, "Docking sequence complete, Captain. Prepare for formal arrival procedures." He exhaled and straightened up. Soon, he would be stepping onto alien soil for the first time in his life. He had studied the Zeathians for months, watched their cultural transmissions, practiced their gestures, even memorized several of their common phrases. But reading about them was not the same as facing them in person. As the docking clamps clicked into place, a soft hum of energy ran through the ship. The viewport showed a platform descending from the capital's main tower, sleek and metallic, hovering like a floating walkway. Several Zeathians awaited at the end. Their appearance was striking, tall, with smooth, silver-blue skin and eyes that shimmered like liquid crystal. Every movement was precise, deliberate, almost like a carefully choreographed dance. Alex swallowed nervously. He had been told that the Zeathians valued respect and discipline above all else. Any misstep would be noticed immediately. The doors slid open with a hiss, and Alex stepped out. The walkway was cool under his boots, almost like walking on polished glass. The Zeathians greeted him with a bow, and Alex instinctively returned the gesture, though he felt clumsy. A moment later, the air shimmered slightly, and the presence of someone taller and more commanding filled the platform. Alex's eyes widened. The alien queen herself was here. Queen Nysera, ruler of the Zeathians, was legendary. Stories described her as both beautiful and formidable, with intelligence that could rival any human scientist and authority that could bend her people to her will. She stepped forward, her gaze fixed on Alex. She wore a robe that seemed to float around her, light reflecting off it in subtle patterns. Her eyes were sharp, yet there was something almost playful in the way she looked at him. "Captain Carter," she said, her voice melodious but firm, "you have come far to be here. Yet it seems you have already made a mistake before even entering my hall." Alex blinked, unsure whether to be flattered or terrified. "Your Majesty, I apologize. I wasn't aware of any mistake." Nysera's lips curved slightly. "Ignorance is not always an excuse, Captain. But I am curious about you. The humans are unpredictable, yes." "Yes, Your Majesty," Alex replied, trying to keep his voice steady. "I assure you I mean no disrespect." "Very well," she said, motioning him to follow. "You will learn the importance of discipline here. Follow me and do not deviate from my instructions." Alex swallowed hard. He had read about Zeathian discipline methods. They were rigorous, often designed to test not only skill but character. And now, it seemed, he was about to experience them firsthand. The doors of the capital opened to reveal a grand hall unlike anything Alex had seen. It was enormous, with walls that seemed to ripple with energy, as if the building itself was alive. The ceiling arched high above, reflecting light from crystal-like structures embedded in the walls. And at the far end, on a raised platform, sat an intricate throne, minimalist yet elegant, where Queen Nysera held court. Alex was guided forward by silent attendants, their movements precise and fluid. Every step echoed slightly in the vast hall. It was beautiful, alien, and overwhelming. Finally, he stood before the queen. Nysera's eyes seemed to pierce through him, analyzing every detail, every subtle movement. He could feel her intelligence, vast and sharp, weighing him like a scale. "You will undergo a series of assessments," Nysera said, her tone even but commanding. "These are not punishments, Captain Carter. They are lessons. To succeed, you must demonstrate adaptability, courage, and respect for the laws of my people. Fail, and you will leave this capital knowing the meaning of regret." Alex nodded, trying not to let fear show. "I understand, Your Majesty." Nysera's gaze softened just slightly. "Good, let us begin." The first test was simple in theory: follow instructions to navigate a labyrinth designed to test observation and patience. Alex entered the chamber expecting a basic puzzle. But the labyrinth shifted subtly as he walked, walls moving in response to his actions. He quickly realized this was not a test of speed. It was a test of thoughtfulness, observation, and calm under pressure. Alex focused, moving carefully, noting patterns in the floor lights and the subtle vibrations in the walls. Each time he hesitated or rushed, the path changed. He recalled his training, breathing exercises, focusing on senses other than sight, predicting outcomes. Slowly he progressed, learning the rhythm of the labyrinth. After several tense minutes, he reached the center where a soft glow indicated success. A voice echoed, calm and smooth. "Well done, Captain Carter. You have demonstrated patience and observation. But do not mistake this for full mastery." Alex exhaled, sweat beading on his forehead. He had survived the first test, but he knew the Queen would challenge him even more. Then the chamber shifted again, revealing Nicera herself, standing as if she had appeared from thin air. Her presence was commanding, but now Alex noticed a faint twinkle of amusement in her eyes. "You have potential, human," she said. "But potential alone is not enough. Discipline is as much about character as skill, and sometimes it is about humility." Alex swallowed, unsure whether she was complimenting him or warning him. "I will do my best, Your Majesty." Nicera tilted her head slightly, observing him. "Bold, that is a quality humans often display. Yet you must learn to temper it with wisdom." She paused, and then with a voice that seemed almost playful, she said, "If you were single, I would give you my number." Alex blinked, taken aback. He had not expected humor, let alone flirtation, from a queen of her reputation. He opened his mouth to respond, but all that came out was a nervous chuckle. Nicera's amusement was clear. She waved a hand, and the chamber shifted once more, signaling the end of the first part of the discipline. "Rest now. You will need your strength for what comes next. Tomorrow, you will learn that intelligence and courage are not always enough to survive my tests." Alex left the chamber, heart racing, mind buzzing. He realized that this mission was not just about diplomacy. It was about understanding a civilization far beyond humanity's current reach. And perhaps, just perhaps, he had caught the curiosity of its ruler. As he returned to his quarters, he couldn't help but think about her words. A strange mix of fear, respect, and unexpected intrigue settled in his chest. He had come to the Zeathian capital as a diplomat, but he was quickly learning that survival and success here would demand everything he had. And maybe a little bit more. The next morning, the Zeathian capital shimmered with a calm, almost ethereal light. Captain Alex Carter awoke in his quarters aboard the Royal Guest Complex, the events of the previous day swirling in his mind. The memory of Queen Nicera's words, sharp, playful, and strangely human, refused to leave him. He had always trained for difficult situations, but nothing in his military and diplomatic experience had prepared him for the combination of discipline, intelligence tests, and unexpected humor that the Zeathian queen brought with her. A soft chime echoed through his quarters. "Captain Carter," said the smooth intercom, "your presence is requested in the Hall of Discipline. Queen Nicera will begin your next assessment." Alex rose, straightened his uniform, and checked his communicator. Everything was in order. He drew a deep breath and stepped out of his room, following the polished corridor that led to the hall. The walls pulsed with a gentle energy, faint light rippling along the panels, and the air seemed alive, humming softly like a musical note. At the entrance of the Hall of Discipline, two Zeathian attendants bowed slightly. "Captain Carter," one said, "the Queen awaits. Proceed without hesitation, but maintain full attention to her instructions." Alex nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. Discipline here was not simply punishment. It was a test of character, creativity, and composure. One misstep could ruin both his mission and his reputation. The doors of the hall opened to reveal Queen Nicera seated in the center of a circular platform. Around her floated several luminous spheres, each moving in patterns that seemed to follow their own laws of motion. She rose as he entered, her presence instantly commanding attention. "Captain Carter," she said, her voice clear and deliberate. "Today you will begin the core of your discipline. The first test will examine your adaptability and problem-solving skills. Observe carefully and act decisively." She gestured toward the floating spheres. "These spheres contain the energy of Zeathian thought. They will challenge you, forcing you to make choices. You may not always know the correct answer immediately. That is the nature of my tests. Are you prepared? I am, Your Majesty, Alex said, keeping his voice steady despite a surge of nerves. Nicera's eyes softened ever so slightly, revealing a hint of curiosity. Good, let us begin. The spheres shifted rapidly, forming a moving labyrinth in the center of the hall. Each sphere emitted a faint glow that changed color when Alex approached it. The goal was simple to state but difficult to execute. He needed to navigate through the labyrinth, touching each sphere in a specific sequence determined by their color patterns. Alex studied the spheres, noting their colors: green, blue, violet, and silver. Each color seemed to pulse at a different rhythm. He reached out and touched the first sphere. A soft vibration ran through his hand, and the sphere changed to a brilliant white before moving slowly to a new location. Interesting, Nicera commented, her tone calm but sharp. You are observing the patterns. Good. Remember, observation is valuable, but action is equally important. Alex nodded and adjusted his strategy. He quickly realized the spheres were reacting not only to his touch, but also to his hesitation. Pausing too long caused them to shift faster, creating new challenges. He focused on the rhythm of each color, predicting the next movement, and carefully stepping through the labyrinth. Minutes passed, each more tense than the last. One misstep and the spheres would reset entirely. Alex's training helped him stay calm, but his mind worked overtime. He adjusted, predicted, and adapted. Slowly, he approached the final sphere, his heart pounding in rhythm with the energy of the room. When he finally touched the last sphere, the labyrinth dissolved, leaving a quiet, glowing circle around him. Queen Nicera observed him silently, her eyes bright and calculating. You have completed the first part, she said, her tone measured. Your adaptability is impressive. Few humans would manage this without hesitation. Yet this is only the beginning. Discipline is more than skill, it is character, resilience, and humility under pressure. Alex exhaled and straightened. Thank you, Your Majesty. Nicera moved closer, her gaze steady on him. Do you understand why we do this, Captain Carter? To measure strength, intelligence, and character, he replied, recalling his briefings and what he had learned in the labyrinth. Correct, she said, but there is more. A test is valuable only when it challenges the limits of your mind and heart. Today, you will learn that courage without wisdom can be dangerous, and wisdom without action can be useless. The Queen gestured to a platform that had emerged from the hall floor. On it lay a series of objects, tools, strange devices, and symbols unfamiliar to any human. You will recreate a sequence of functions using these tools, Nicera explained. Each device has a specific purpose. Some are intuitive, others require creative thought. Mistakes will teach, but patience and insight will reward. Alex approached carefully. The devices hummed softly as he examined them, and he realized he would need to combine observation with careful trial and error. He began with a simple device that seemed to respond to touch. When he pressed the right combination of buttons, it emitted a small, musical tone. Encouraged, he moved to the next device, and then the next, his mind racing with possibilities and patterns. Nicera watched silently, occasionally tilting her head, as if analyzing every microexpression. Alex noticed how her gaze could be both intimidating and strangely encouraging. It reminded him that discipline here was not meant to humiliate, it was meant to shape, refine, and challenge. Hours passed. Sweat dotted his forehead and his muscles ached from concentration, but step by step, device by device, he progressed. Occasionally, a device would reset, forcing him to rethink his approach. He realized that success here was not just about intelligence, it was about patience, flexibility, and courage to try again. Finally, he completed the last device. A soft glow filled the hall and the platforms retracted, leaving the floor smooth and empty. Alex turned to Nicera, unsure of what to expect. The Queen's lips curved slightly into a smile. Well done, Captain Carter. You have demonstrated ingenuity, patience, and determination. These qualities are rare, even among my own people. You may rest briefly before the next phase. Alex allowed himself a small sigh of relief. He had survived the first real challenge, but he knew this was only the beginning. Nicera's tests were as much about observation and morality as they were about skill. He felt a mixture of pride and apprehension, aware that each success would bring even greater challenges. Then, just as he thought he might finally relax, Nicera's voice cut through the quiet. Captain, you have shown surprising resilience, perhaps even charm. If you were single, I would give you my number. Alex froze, the words echoing in his mind. He blinked, unsure whether to laugh or bow in respect. Your Majesty, I thank you, he managed, keeping his composure while hiding a flush of surprise. Nicera raised an eyebrow, a faint twinkle of amusement in her eyes. Remember this, human, humor and grace can be as powerful as skill. Never underestimate the value of wit in the face of challenge. Alex nodded, realizing that this lesson was as important as any he had just learned. Discipline was not only about following rules, it was about understanding, connection, and balance between seriousness and lightheartedness. As he left the Hall of Discipline, Alex felt a renewed sense of purpose. The Zeathian Queen was unlike any leader he had encountered, demanding yet fair, strict yet capable of humor. He knew that the days ahead would test him in ways he could not yet imagine. But for the first time, he also felt a strange sense of excitement. Humanity's journey to the stars was not just about exploration. It was about growth, understanding, and proving that the human spirit could thrive even among the most advanced and disciplined of civilizations. And in the heart of the Zeathian capital, Alex Carter was about to begin the most important lessons of his life. He took a deep breath, squared his shoulders, and prepared himself for what was next. Discipline, he realized, was only the beginning. The next day dawned bright within the Zeathian capital, the soft light reflecting off the crystalline towers in shades of green and silver. Captain Alex Carter awoke with a mixture of anticipation and unease. Yesterday had been a test of his adaptability and patience, but today promised something different. Today, Queen Nicera had requested his presence for a tour of the city, an unusual privilege for any human. As Alex approached the royal chambers, two attendants greeted him, bowing slightly. Captain Carter, one said, Queen Nicera awaits outside. You will accompany her through the city. Remember her instructions carefully. Alex nodded, straightening his uniform. Though honored, he was nervous. Accompanying the queen would mean walking alongside someone whose intelligence, authority, and presence were unmatched. Every step, every gesture, every word would be under scrutiny. When he exited into the open balcony, he was greeted by Nicera herself. She stood tall and regal, her robe flowing like liquid light around her. Her eyes, sharp yet curious, met his with a faint smile. Good morning, Captain Carter, she said. Today you will observe the Zeathian capital and learn about our people. But this tour is more than sightseeing. It is an assessment of your observation, judgment, and ability to respond to unforeseen events. Alex swallowed. I understand, Your Majesty. I will follow your instructions carefully. Nicera's smile widened slightly. Good, let us begin. The first stop was the city's central transit hub, a place where citizens traveled via hovering platforms and energy fields that responded to thought commands. Nicera gestured to one such platform. Step aboard. You will need to navigate the city using our systems. Alex hesitated for only a moment before stepping onto the platform. Immediately, he felt a soft vibration beneath his feet as the system recognized him and responded. He followed Nicera's lead, marveling at the city's efficiency and elegance. The platforms glided silently above the streets, which were filled with Zeathians moving with a natural grace, their daily routines precise yet flowing. Observe closely, Nicera said, her voice calm. Our people value efficiency, creativity, and cooperation. Notice how they interact and adapt. You will need to apply these principles yourself in moments to come. Alex nodded, mentally taking notes. It is remarkable, Your Majesty. Everything flows so seamlessly. Nicera tilted her head, amused. Seamless, yes, but only because our citizens have trained for generations to understand and cooperate with these systems. Even a small mistake can create a ripple. Watch carefully, Captain. Humanity must learn both the value of precision and the importance of foresight. As they continued, a sudden alert echoed through the hub. One of the energy platforms had malfunctioned, causing several citizens to hesitate mid-travel. Alex noticed immediately. The platform was stuck between two energy currents, and its passengers were struggling to maintain balance. Without thinking, he reached for the control panel beside him. The interface was alien, unlike any technology he had seen, yet he applied logic and intuition together. He observed the flow of energy, adjusting the platform's course carefully. Gradually, the platform regained stability, allowing the citizens to continue safely. Nysera's eyes widened slightly, betraying her surprise. "Well done, Captain Carter," she said softly. "You acted decisively, logically, and with concern for others. Most humans would panic." Alex felt a rush of relief and pride. "Thank you, Your Majesty," he said, though he kept his focus on the platforms. The Queen's smile returned, subtle but genuine. "This is why observation alone is not enough. Action guided by understanding is equally valuable. Remember this lesson well." Their journey continued to the royal gardens, a sprawling area where Zeathian flora glowed faintly, reacting to environmental stimuli. Alex marveled at the plants, some of which could move gently, others that changed colors according to the emotions of those nearby. Nysera walked beside him, her gaze sweeping over the gardens with careful attention. "Here, Captain, you will learn patience and teamwork. You will assist in a small task involving our plant systems. These gardens are delicate. Carelessness can cause disruption." Alex knelt beside a cluster of bioluminescent vines, listening to Nysera's instructions. They needed to adjust the light absorption in the plants to optimize growth, a task requiring precision, observation, and a gentle touch. As he worked, Nysera observed silently, occasionally offering advice. "Not too fast," she said. "Feel the flow of energy. Balance your intentions with the needs of the plants." Hours passed, and Alex began to understand the rhythm of the gardens. He felt connected, not only to the plants, but to the environment itself. Nysera occasionally glanced at him, a faint smile playing on her lips as she noticed his focus and patience. "You are learning quickly," she said at last. "Humans are unpredictable, yet they possess qualities that are rare even among the Zeathians: courage, curiosity, and a capacity for empathy." Alex looked up, meeting her gaze. "Your Majesty, I am honored to learn from you. I hope to serve both my people and yours well." Nysera's expression softened. "You are doing more than serve, Captain. You are building trust, something that is often harder to achieve than skill or knowledge." As they continued their tour, an unexpected situation arose. A small group of citizens protested near the city's marketplace. Their hover devices had malfunctioned, and they could not reach their destinations. The Queen and Alex approached the scene. Nysera's eyes narrowed slightly. "Captain, this is your moment to demonstrate judgment and initiative. How will you respond?" Alex scanned the situation. The protesters were frustrated but not violent. He stepped forward calmly. "Citizens, I am Captain Alex Carter, representing humanity. I will help coordinate with your systems to restore functionality." He accessed a nearby terminal, analyzing the malfunction and coordinating with the platform network. Within minutes, he had identified the source of the problem, a minor disruption in the energy field, and corrected it. The citizens cheered quietly, relieved, while Nysera observed with keen interest. "Impressive," she said, her tone calm but appreciative. "You handled the situation with composure and logic, even under pressure. Many humans would have panicked or ignored the needs of others." Alex felt a mixture of pride and humility. "It was nothing, Your Majesty. I simply followed what I could observe and thought it through." Nysera smiled faintly. "And that, Captain, is why humans are so fascinating, unpredictable yet capable of ingenuity and courage. You have begun to show qualities that make your species remarkable." By the end of the day, Alex and Nysera had traversed much of the city. They faced challenges, observed citizens, and participated in activities that tested patience, judgment, and cooperation. With each moment, Alex felt more confident and capable, yet also more aware of the responsibility placed upon him. Finally, they returned to the palace. Nysera's expression softened as she regarded him. "You have learned much today, Captain Carter, not only about our city and our people, but also about yourself. Observation, action, and empathy are all intertwined. A leader must master all three." Alex nodded, exhausted but satisfied. "I will remember your lessons, Your Majesty. I hope to continue proving myself worthy." Nysera's eyes glimmered with amusement. "You are doing well, human. Perhaps one day you will even teach us something about your own species. And remember," she paused, her lips curling slightly, "if you were single, I would give you my number." Alex chuckled nervously, a blush rising on his cheeks. I will keep that in mind, Your Majesty." Nysera's laughter, soft and melodic, echoed in the hall, a rare sound of genuine amusement. For the first time, Alex felt not just the weight of duty, but the spark of a unique connection, a bridge between human ingenuity and Zeathian precision. As he returned to his quarters, Alex reflected on the day's events. The challenges had been difficult, but the lessons were invaluable. Humanity had arrived in a world far beyond its reach, and yet, through courage, observation, and empathy, it could make a mark. And perhaps in the process, a human and an alien queen could understand each other in ways neither species had ever imagined. The night settled over the Zeathian capital, the towers glowing softly like stars fallen to the ground. Alex Carter lay in his quarters, tired but inspired. He knew that tomorrow would bring new challenges, tests of skill, mind, and character. But for the first time, he felt ready, not just to face them, but to thrive. For in the presence of Queen Nysera, he was learning that discipline, courage, and ingenuity could forge bonds that crossed worlds, and that sometimes, even the strictest of rulers could show a surprising sense of humor. The sun had barely risen over the Zeathian capital when sudden alarm echoed through the palace halls. Captain Alex Carter, still adjusting to the rhythm of life in the alien city, was awakened by urgent calls from the royal attendants. He quickly dressed, securing his communicator and checking his gear. "Captain Carter," said one attendant, bowing with urgency, "Queen Nysera requests your immediate presence. There has been an incident near the eastern sector of the city." Alex's heart raced. The eastern sector housed critical Zeathian infrastructure, including the energy conduits that powered much of the capital. Any disruption there could have serious consequences. He followed the attendant swiftly, moving through corridors that glimmered with the city's soft green light. When he arrived at the hall, Nysera was already present, her eyes sharp and focused. She was flanked by several elite Zeathian guards, their expressions tense. "Captain Carter," she said, her tone calm but firm, "a faction within our city opposes the presence of humans. They have attempted a disruption near the eastern energy grid. It is not yet dangerous, but their actions could escalate." Alex nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. "Your Majesty, how can I assist?" Nysera's eyes softened slightly. "This will be a test of loyalty, courage, and strategy. You will work alongside me to resolve the situation. The city must remain safe, and the instigators must be handled carefully. Your human perspective may offer solutions that my people might not consider." Alex felt a surge of responsibility. This was no longer a training exercise or a test of observation. Lives and the city's stability depended on quick thinking, courage, and teamwork. Nysera led him to a holographic map of the city, projected into the air before them. Red markers indicated the locations of the disruptions, moving as the faction tried to sabotage the energy grid. "Observe the patterns," Nysera instructed. "The faction is small but organized. They will attempt to mislead and distract. You must identify their strategy." Alex leaned forward, scanning the hologram. "They're not just random," he said. "They're moving in coordinated waves, testing the defenses. If we predict their next move, we can prevent damage before it occurs." Nysera's eyes glimmered. "Impressive human, you are thinking strategically. Now act." Together, they moved through the capital, Alex following Nysera's precise commands while also offering his own insights. The city's energy fields shifted in response to their actions, creating barriers and redirecting potential threats. At one point, they reached a malfunctioning energy conduit. Sparks flew, and a small section of the walkway became unstable. Without hesitation, Alex sprang into action, using his human ingenuity to stabilize the structure with a temporary energy bridge. Citizens who had been nearby were guided to safety, thanks to his quick thinking. Nysera observed silently but closely. "Your courage is admirable," she said. "Few could act so decisively under pressure." Alex felt a mix of pride and focus. "Your Majesty, the faction is trying to create a diversion. If we split them, we can neutralize their efforts." Nysera nodded. "Agreed. Let us proceed." Using the city's energy grid, they created subtle barriers that redirected the faction's movements. Alex coordinated with Zeathian sensors, predicting where the group would attempt their next sabotage. Step by step, they cornered the faction without causing harm, forcing the instigators to surrender. Once the crisis was resolved, Nysera turned to Alex, her expression unreadable for a moment. Then a small smile appeared. "You have done well, Captain Carter. Not only did you act with courage and intelligence, but you also considered the welfare of our citizens. Loyalty is shown not only in obedience, but in understanding the consequences of action." Alex exhaled, relieved yet exhilarated. Thank you, Your Majesty. I only acted as I thought best. Nysera's gaze softened further. And that is precisely why humans are remarkable. Your species' unpredictability is balanced by creativity and morality. Today, you have proven that courage and intellect can bridge worlds. For a brief moment, the tension lifted, and the Queen's tone turned almost lighthearted. I must admit, she said, if you were single, I would give you my number, but for now, let us focus on matters of the city. Alex chuckled nervously, a blush rising on his cheeks. I will keep that in mind, Your Majesty. The day continued as they oversaw the restoration of the affected energy conduits. Alex worked closely with Zeathian engineers, learning their methods and offering human insights that proved surprisingly effective. Together, they managed to restore full functionality within hours, earning quiet praise from the engineers and Nysera alike. As evening approached, the capital was calm once more. Citizens resumed their routines, the soft hum of energy flowing through the city like a heartbeat. Nysera and Alex walked together through the gardens, reflecting on the day's events. You have learned much in a short time, Captain, Nysera said. Discipline, observation, courage, and now strategy. You are beginning to understand the balance required to navigate both human and Zeathian challenges. Alex looked at her, admiration in his eyes. Your Majesty, it has been an honor to serve and learn. I hope I have not disappointed you. Nysera's gaze softened. You have exceeded expectations, human. Your actions have shown that humans can rise to challenges with courage, wisdom, and compassion. These qualities will serve both our peoples well in the future. Alex felt a swell of pride. He had entered the Zeathian capital as a diplomat and observer, but he was leaving each day having proven that humanity had a place among the stars. He had shown that human creativity, courage, and morality were valuable even to a civilization as advanced as the Zeathians. Before parting for the night, Nysera turned to him once more, her tone lighter now, though still commanding. Captain, remember this. Discipline tests your skills, challenges your mind, and strengthens your character. But even in the strictest of lessons, there is room for humor, curiosity, and connection. Never forget that. Alex smiled, feeling a rare warmth in the Queen's words. I will remember, Your Majesty. And remember this, too, Nysera added, a playful twinkle in her eyes. If you were single, I would give you my number. Alex laughed softly, a mix of relief and amusement. I will consider it, Your Majesty. As he returned to his quarters, Alex reflected on the events of the day. The challenges had been real, the stakes high, yet the lessons were invaluable. Humanity had entered a world far beyond its reach, and through courage, intelligence, and morality, it could leave a mark. And perhaps, just perhaps, a human and an alien queen could find a connection that transcended worlds, built not only on respect and shared challenges, but also on mutual understanding and admiration. The night settled over the Zeathian capital, towers glowing softly under the stars. Alex Carter lay in his quarters, exhausted but inspired. He knew that tomorrow would bring even greater tests, both of skill and character, but he felt ready, more confident than ever. For in the presence of Queen Nysera, he had learned that bravery, intelligence, and empathy could build bridges between species, and that even a strict, disciplined ruler could recognize and appreciate the unique qualities of a human. As he drifted to sleep, Alex realized something profound. The greatest challenges were not only external but internal. To succeed, he would need to trust his instincts, his humanity, and the lessons he had learned from an alien civilization unlike any other. And with that trust, he knew he could face whatever came next. The Zeathian capital glowed softly under the twin moons as Captain Alex Carter walked through the palace gardens. The events of the past days weighed on his mind. The tests, the challenges, the crisis, and the unexpected moments of humor and connection with Queen Nysera. He had grown from a cautious diplomat into someone who had proven his courage, intelligence, and adaptability to an alien civilization. Nysera walked beside him, her presence calm and commanding, yet lighter than he had ever seen it. The city around them was peaceful once more, citizens moving gracefully, unaware of the challenges that had unfolded earlier. Captain Carter, Nysera said, her voice calm but deliberate, today marks the conclusion of your assessments. You have shown skill, wisdom, and compassion. More importantly, you have demonstrated qualities that are rare even among my own people. Alex nodded, feeling a mix of pride and humility. Your Majesty, it has been an honor. I have learned more in these few days than I could have imagined. Nysera paused, her gaze sweeping the city. Humanity has proven that it can not only survive among advanced civilizations but also contribute meaningfully. You, Captain, have been an excellent representative of your species. Alex felt a warm sense of accomplishment. He had faced alien tests that challenged not only his mind and body but also his heart. And he had come through them with courage, creativity, and empathy, qualities that defined humans and had earned the Queen's respect. Your actions have built trust between our peoples, Nysera continued. Trust is fragile, Captain Carter, but it is the foundation for all meaningful relationships, whether between individuals or civilizations. Alex looked at her thoughtfully. I understand, Your Majesty. Trust must be earned and it must be maintained with care. I hope to continue strengthening that bond. Nysera's eyes softened, and she allowed herself a small, almost playful smile. You have done more than strengthen a bond. You have shown that humans are capable of courage, ingenuity, and empathy that can inspire even the most disciplined of my people. And perhaps you have taught me something about perspective as well. Alex's chest warmed at her words. He had not expected such acknowledgement, yet he felt it deeply. It was one thing to succeed in a test of skill, but to earn respect from a ruler like Nysera was another matter entirely. As they walked through the gardens, a soft breeze rustled the luminescent plants, creating a symphony of gentle light and motion. Nysera stopped before a crystal fountain, the water flowing in precise patterns, yet responding to the presence of those nearby. Captain, she said, her tone lighter now, you have proven yourself in every challenge I have presented. Today, the city is safe, the faction is neutralized, and the citizens are unharmed. You have exceeded expectations. Alex smiled, feeling a sense of relief and pride. Thank you, Your Majesty. I could not have done this without your guidance and the cooperation of your people. Nysera's gaze softened further, and for a moment, the strictness that had defined her presence seemed to fade. Perhaps one day, she said, her voice tinged with amusement, humans and Zeathians will work together not just in diplomacy but in innovation, exploration, and discovery. You have shown that such a partnership is possible. Alex felt a thrill at her words. Humanity's future among the stars seemed brighter, more hopeful. I hope so, Your Majesty. There is much we can learn from each other. Nysera nodded. Indeed, and Captain, remember this, humans are remarkable not just for strength or skill, but for their spirit. That spirit has carried you through these tests and will carry your people far in the galaxy. Alex looked at her, admiration and gratitude in his eyes. Your Majesty, your words mean more than I can say. I will carry them with me always. For a moment, silence fell between them, comfortable yet filled with unspoken understanding. Then, with her familiar twinkle of humor, Nysera added softly, and of course, if you were single, I would give you my number. Alex laughed, a mix of amusement and respect. I will keep that in mind, Your Majesty, he said, bowing slightly. Nysera smiled, the gesture genuine and warm. Good. Now, Captain, it is time to formalize the new agreement between our peoples. The city is safe, trust is established, and your skills have proven invaluable. Let this day mark the beginning of a new era. Alex followed her into the council chamber, where Zeathian officials and human representatives gathered. The atmosphere was formal but celebratory, the energy of mutual respect and hope filling the room. Together, Nysera and Alex addressed the assembly, outlining the steps for collaboration between humans and Zeathians. They spoke of exploration, technology exchange, and shared cultural understanding. Every word from Alex was measured, demonstrating the same care and thoughtfulness that had guided him through the past day's tests. The officials nodded, impressed by the human's diplomacy and insight. Nysera observed him with pride, recognizing that the human spirit, with all its unpredictability and creativity, had found a place even among the disciplined Zeathians. After the ceremony, the Queen led Alex to a private terrace overlooking the city. The twin moons cast silver light across the towers, and the soft glow of the streets below seemed almost magical. You have done well, Captain, Nysera said, her tone soft and reflective. Not only in skill and intellect, but in character. You have shown courage, empathy, and ingenuity that have left an impression on both me and my people. Alex bowed slightly. Thank you, Your Majesty. Your guidance made this possible. Without your mentorship, I could not have learned so much in such a short time. Nysera's gaze lingered on him. Humans are curious, resilient, and capable of remarkable growth. You have proven that these qualities are not just traits, but tools for survival and cooperation. Alex felt a swell of pride and humility. I will continue to honor that trust, Your Majesty. Humanity has much to learn, but we are eager to grow and contribute. Nysera's eyes sparkled, the faintest trace of amusement returning. And perhaps, Captain Carter, one day you will teach me more about your world, your people, and the ways humans think. That will be a lesson I will not take lightly. Alex smiled, feeling a rare warmth. I would be honored, Your Majesty. For a final moment, they stood together, observing the city below. The challenges had been many, the lessons intense, yet the reward was profound. Understanding, respect, and the beginning of a lasting connection between humans and Zeathians. Nysera turned to him, her voice soft but playful. Remember, Captain, you have earned much today. Courage, intelligence, empathy, and perhaps a little humor as well. And of course, she added with a teasing glint in her eye, if you were single, I would give you my number. Alex chuckled, shaking his head with a smile. I will consider it, Your Majesty. The Queen laughed softly, a rare sound that echoed across the terrace. Good, and now, Captain, rest. Tomorrow, the galaxy awaits, and you will need your strength and insight for the future we will build together. Alex turned to leave, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment and inspiration. Humanity had arrived among the stars, not merely as explorers but as valued partners. He had faced alien tests, crises, and challenges, yet through courage, creativity, and empathy, he had proven that humans could thrive in a world far beyond their own. As he walked back to his quarters, the city glowing beneath the twin moons, Alex realized something profound. The greatest victories were not only measured in success or survival, but in the bonds forged, the trust earned, and the respect shared between different beings. Humanity had begun a new chapter, one of cooperation, understanding, and mutual admiration with a civilization far advanced beyond their own. And in the heart of that civilization, Captain Alex Carter had left a mark, not just as a diplomat, but as a symbol of the human spirit, brave, clever, compassionate, and unyielding. And somewhere in the soft glow of the city, he could still hear the Queen's words echoing in his mind, playful yet sincere. If you were single, I would give you my number. Alex smiled, feeling a mix of pride and amusement. Humanity's journey among the stars was only beginning, and with courage, empathy, and ingenuity, he knew they were ready for whatever the galaxy would bring. A new era had begun.